The Jets got their first and maybe last win of the season. Carson Wentz maybe died before our eyes in primetime. Tucker Kraft went from stud to star.
The most by any tight end in 7+ seasons.
And we learned why Jaylen Warren is no longer welcome at his local park. Welcome to Shut Up Football. I'm Jeff Stoltzfus. That's Kevin. You know, I hate to complain about the refs, so I won't, because my team won. It was beautiful. It was stupid. It was week 8 in the NFL. Let's get it. Carson Wentz showed J.J. McCarthy how to play injured. He was sacked 5 times. They wrapped him in duct tape and prayers and sent him back in. It was the greatest battle Wentz had faced since his mother smoked during his pregnancy. I assume that's why he looks like a baby bird. He fought through it like an Iron Man, or at least copper. J.J. McCarthy could only watch and wonder where his lips went. Running back Kamani Vidal is listed at 5'8", which feels generous. He looks like a first-round pick in Kyler Murray's entourage. This angry toddler had over 100 yards rushing and his first pro rushing touchdown. He's small but mighty, like Ant-Man or gonorrhea. The Vikings had no run game of their own. 11 carries between 3 runners and only 34 yards to show for it. Wentz wasn't the only one to get some chin music. The down judge took a helmet to the face and stared at his hat like it was goddamn Sophie's Choice. Just pick it up. He was checked out by Tony, who has no medical training. He just likes to touch faces. Kirk Herbstreit called Wentz a p***. Can I say that word?
To me, when you're the captain of the ship, you're the quarterback, you got to try to hold some of that emotion in.
Emotion? Captain Jellybones is in pain. I'd like to see you do your job after your spleen becomes an Audi. The Chargers had over 400 yards of offense and didn't punt all game. The punter was taste testing Gatorade all night and saying shit like aromatic notes of acai berries. It was a tough night for the Vikings. Even the team's homeless man looks sad. Kevin O'Connell said they're not gonna bury the tape on this game, which is good. They need that grave for Carson Wentz. It was opposite day and the Dolphins were good. The Falcons couldn't get their running game going and quickly pivoted to absolutely nothing. The Dolphins defense was playing out of its Falcon mind. Tua woke up with an eye ailment. One of his eyes was swollen shut. Hard to believe he was throwing tutties all game with no depth perception. Maybe that was the problem all along. There's no I in team and too many in Tua. Mike McDaniel better keep an ice cream scoop at the ready in case this little sucker starts to convalesce. Tua found all of his receivers for points. The one named after a president. The one named after a turkey neck. It was a big day for Tiny Cyclops. It was hardball versus hard to look at. The Bears' offense remains a hot mess. Caleb Williams spent most of the day running in circles like a dog waiting to pee and struggling with anything beyond 5 yards. The Bears' best play came at the end when Williams launched a ball from the 7th circle of hell into DJ Moore's outstretched orphan mitt. It must have been guided by the Pope himself. They don't need Ben Johnson. Let Caleb cook. Sure, he'll burn the house down in the process, but the food will technically be cooked. Tyler Huntley got the start for the Ravens. It was as if someone drew a picture of Lamar Jackson from memory. He kept drives alive so Derrick Henry could finish them. It was 2 scores from King Henry, who showed more legs than a crab. The Ravens looked dangerous again, and the Bears' momentum was stolen by a backup named Snoop. Does a bear shit in the woods? This week, they did it in Baltimore. James Cook ran the length of 2 football fields. He scored twice from distance after the Panthers' defense showed the stopping power of a moist towelette. Josh Allen teased the ladies on a scramble after the defense nearly turned him into Magic Mike. It's a 2-drink minimum, girls. Ask Panther fans. They know. They were already half in the bag, which describes any bag Bryce Young is in. Andy Dalton got the start. The red rifle must have been aimed at his foot. He was sacked 7 times and had 3 turnovers. Dalton was shakier than a chihuahua on Adderall. AJ Epinesa leaned into his best trait. Object permanence. And took a short pass back to the 1. Joey Bosa demanded players connect the dots on his neck. Up 31 points in the final minute, Joe Brady stole every office supply he could. The Jets were hunting for their first win of the season. The air on the sideline was tense and palpable. Nope, fuck it, it's slime time. Joe Flacco was still hot off the presses and apparently a 4-hour car ride. They dragged Google Maps into this so we could all comprehend the enormity that is Ohio. But never mind all that, cause Aaron Glenn was getting more screen time than a foot model on OnlyFans. Perhaps, like any tragedy, the viewing public simply could not look away. I'm not sure there was a football game at all. Just shots of Aaron Glenn. Superimpose some rain and cue the Sarah McLachlan music. And what poor camera person had no other job that day than following a disgruntled Aaron Glenn? They even put him in the double box during game highlights. No, wait! The Jets scored a touchdown! What does Aaron Glenn think? Is he happy? Your ex was there. Also, Breece Hall scored 3 touchdowns, Jets win. This game had everything. A guy with no hand and no one talked about it. Matt Jones was catatonic for a full 5 minutes and then shouted mother and passed out. George Kittle treated a touchdown like a surprise birthday party. Jones did everything right, except the thing he was supposed to do. Win the game.
You maniac! You blew it up! Damn you! Damn you all to hell!
Despite being double-teamed, Myles Garrett had 5 sacks, and the Browns still lost. What is the point of this man in Cleveland? He's as likely to win a Stanley Cup as he is a Super Bowl. Is it legal for Myles Garrett to start scouting quarterbacks? Who better than the man who hunts them all game? Give him 30 minutes. I bet he comes back with 3 of them in the trunk of his car. This was a revenge game for the Eagles on a 2-win team. Very sad. The Eagles exploded for a last season's expectations of rushing yards. Here comes Jackson Aloysius Bartholomew. He's got more riz than a sizzler haunted by Drakkar Noir. The announcers were far too enamored by Cam Scadaboo's every moment.
Look at the bottom left of this picture at the Knicks game. That is the Giants starting running back. That is amazing.
Is it? Did Cam Scadaboo overcome some great tragedy to attend a basketball game? Or did he just, buy some tickets?
Amazing.
Outside of football, Tom Brady has no idea what to do with his hands.
Gotta be honest, I have no idea what's going on.
Congratulations to uncooked ramen package Spencer Rattler, who threw the dumbest interception of the week.
No!
Idiot. Anthony Nelson didn't even jump. Rattler threw it right at his outstretched hand. At least make him dance for it. Nelson said he didn't remember getting into the end zone, which is no big deal. I can't remember 2014. For reasons that were never fully explained, the announcers had turducken in the booth.
The turducken is great. It is outstanding.
Don't show me your food. That's what Instagram is for. Anthony Winfield returned a fumble for a touchdown, and they claimed it was whistle dead despite no whistle. You know this is being recorded, right? We can go to the videotape. What is happening with the refs this week? Did they all dive face first into a pool of stupid? The Saints replaced my poor sweet troll doll Spencer with some guy named Shuck, who doesn't even pronounce his name right. You have made a very powerful enemy. Nobody takes Spency Rattles from me. It was Jim Nance versus Tony Romo to the death. Got your throat, Jim. Bo Nix tossed 4 touchdowns. Franklin, Bash, McGillicuddy, I can't remember all their names. The Broncos running backs led the charge. RK plus JK spells 179 yards and 3 touchdowns. There was a horse. George Pickens taste tested himself. Ew. All I know for sure, the Cowboys got dog walked in thin air, and it was fucking great.
Loved everything about that except the swearing.
The Colts are the hottest thing since fresh dog shit. Jonathan Taylor was running hard and shooting goddamn triangles out of his face. Daniel Jones piled up another 3 touchdowns. Michael Pittman caught one with his armpit. Replacing Coach What's-His-Name with Mike McCoy was like changing the wallpaper of a porta potty. I have no idea what this change has brought to the franchise. Better snacks? Maybe he tells fun stories with a ukulele in the locker room. Cam Ward still can barely field a snap without twitching. On the plus side, at least Titans fans already have a costume for Halloween. The Steelers were wearing throwback uniforms. They looked naked from the waist down. If Rodgers had touched his toes, I would have seen his darkness retreat. Tucker Kraft was snatching souls. He had over 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. Turns out, he grew up in a tumbleweed factory in the middle of nowhere. The mayor was a bison and the town lived in this bar. We got a peek at Jalen Warren's training regimen. Thank God the goalie wasn't in it this time. Pittsburgh has a giant creepy statue of Mr. Rodgers made out of feces. Rodgers was furious after the Packers jumped offside and there was not a flag. What could the refs possibly be talking about? Oh God, he's right next to us, isn't he? Maybe they were confused by the Steelers jerseys. I know I was. They look like the world's most ambiguous highway sign. We got a free tour of a sweatshop. Rodgers nearly fumbled, but he chucked the ball at Warren's back. If only Warren could have caught it between his butt cheeks and run 40 yards for the score, like they practiced. Marcus Mariota got the start and made highlight reel runs, or whatever the fuck this is. Jesus Christ, this guy needs a seatbelt for the toilet. Travis Kelce tied Priest Holmes for the most touchdowns as a Chief. Congratulations to Travis Kelce for the headline, tied with a Priest for touches. For some reason, everyone wanted to high five but forgot how it works. Put them together, guys. I know it's gross, but you gotta touch. No, not you, Dan. You're on the other team. Tonight's aerial coverage presented by Diarrhea. Mariota found McLaurin in the end zone, and thank God it was double sock day. Troy Aikman, shower me with your expert analysis. McLaurin made another amazing catch later when he managed to stay in bounds by his dong. At what point are we gonna talk about this ref's baggy shirts? Is he wearing a wingsuit? Is he hiding unsightly bat wings? That is more material than is necessary. Flag your tailor. Johnny Newton was flagged after he tossed Mahomes like a used Kleenex. Damn it, Johnny. Tell the ref you smell booze on his breath and show some tit. Learn to work your way out of stuff like this. Life gets harder. And now the soft pretzel of the week. Yummy. This week, the pretzel goes to backup quarterbacks, of which there are many playing right now. It's been interesting to watch just how teams value the position you hope you don't need to use. The Bengals thought they had a good one in Jake Browning, but that turned out to be not so true. Same for the Ravens, who thought Cooper Rush could provide stability for them because he did it with the Cowboys. Joe Flacco, Tyler Huntley, Mac Jones, even Marcus Mariota have all sparked some good wins for their teams this season. And it can be the difference between a season lost or a Super Bowl run. And that is not overly dramatic. Just ask Nick Foles. So kudos to the backups and the teams that are smart enough to invest in them. Thanks for watching Shut Up Football. Say hi to your mom for me, and we'll see you next week. Peace!
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.
Loved everything about that except the swearing.